Hello, my name is Brent Strawn. I am professor of Old Testament and professor of law at Duke University in Durham, North Carolina. And I'm here to talk about my new book. Look, there it is. Lies My Preacher Told Me, an honest look at the Old Testament, published by Westminster John Knox. My book is about 10 lies, or maybe mistruths is a nicer way to put it, that we've been taught to believe about the Old Testament. Somewhere along the way, somehow, someone taught us these things. Maybe it was a preacher, but maybe it was a teacher, a well-meaning parent, a friend, who knows? But whatever the case, the book is about 10 things that are really not accurate about the Old Testament. Common lies, or again, less ominously, 10 mistruths that we often believe to our detriment about the Old Testament. And so the book is about setting those straight to reach a more improved, better, and healthier understanding of the Old Testament as part of Christian scripture. I wrote the book primarily to set the record straight about these things. There's a lot of things that people believe and say about the Old Testament that, in my humble opinion as an Old Testament professor, are factually inaccurate. But I can only talk about 10. At least that was the agreement with the press. And so I wrote the book really to try to hit some of the more important ones. Not all of them, but some of the big ones that people frequently think about and worry about for good or less good reasons. Things like that the Old Testament is really violent, hyper-violent, or that the Old Testament, the presentation of God is always mean, really mean, or that the Old Testament isn't spiritually relevant or practically significant. These sorts of things are the kinds of things that many Christians believe or think, even if they don't admit it. And so it was the burden of the book, my intention in the book, to really speak to those things and try to set the record straight in order to correct people's understanding, but ultimately to help them towards a better, more appreciative understanding of the first 3/4 or so of their Bibles. Actually, 78.1% of the Bible is the Old Testament, but who's counting? I did. Most of all, I hope readers gain from the book a newfound appreciation of the Old Testament as Christian scripture, as an indispensable part of the record of Holy Writ given to us by God through the wisdom of the Spirit. And so I hope that folk who read the book will appreciate the texts, the stories, the poems of the Old Testament with fresh eyes, a new awareness, new appreciation of the nooks and crannies that perhaps they haven't thought of before, and also a better assessment of what is wrong, perhaps, about what they've previously thought to be true, in order to kind of change their mind and think more positively and healthily about the Old Testament. I'd be happy to read part of the book. One of my favorite parts. I mean, of course, I wrote the book, so all of it's my favorite. But for the sake of reading just one section, I'm going to read the very end of the book. And so here's the conclusion of Lies My Preacher Told Me. What we need, therefore, is to produce Christians who command the power of Scripture, the ability to use Scripture to inspire and legitimate our actions in the present. Then Scripture will seriously inform Christians as individuals and as a church, instead of serving as a source of weary cliches. Weary or otherwise, cliches are easy. So are mistruths. They simplify matters, whether by ignorance, concealment, or duplicity, but they simply will not do. Biblical half-truths do real damage. They do not set us free, and they also do not set us free to do justice, let alone to love mercy and to walk humbly with our God, to quote the great prophet Micah. Instead, even and perhaps especially when they are well-meaning, mistruths like the ones considered in this book, among the many others that might have been mentioned, actually interfere with what should be the church's basic mission: to prepare people to do their jobs as Christians. God help us to set the record straight for God's sake and for the sake of God's world. Thanks a lot.